So, I thought it was time to update you all on Star Wars Battlefront, considering I've been reading all the news and been wondering what to make of it all. DICE have been doing the rounds on news websites again, dropping some hints and information and answering lots of more awkward questions being pitted to them, and they've made for some interesting reading. So first up, and this is probably the piece of information or news that grabbed my attention most out of the pile that I've got for you today, was EA's expectations for the title. EA are expecting Battlefront to sell between 9 and 10 million copies by March 2016. That's a pretty big number. Now consider the following scenario as well. Battlefront is only set to be released on 3 of the 5 major gaming platforms right now, which is PC, Xbox One and the PS4. And then add to that the weight of the community that's waited years for an update to the Battlefront series, and that goal set by EA starts to look like a more achievable target. Just to compare, in October 2013 when Battlefield 4 released, it sold 7 million copies through to March 2014, only 3 million less than what EA are pushing for Battlefront. At face value, 10 million seems like a massive number, but with the hype surrounding the new film and the game, and to be honest, the reboot of the whole Star Wars ecosystem, that target looks set to be smashed by EA. Next up, news that the game won't feature squads or classes, and I think this piece of news is fueled by the fact that DICE also make the Battlefield series, which does feature those mechanics. And I think the reason that this has created such a discussion is that DICE seem to be outing information that's leading towards setting up Battlefront as its own pillar, its own game, which I think is a really good move from a marketing perspective, considering DICE's 2 main games now share the first half of the name of each title with each other. Craig McLeod, one of the Battlefront producers, and an all-round nice chap by the way, I met him recently at one of the Battlefield events, has stated the following: "We will allow you to create your own loadout. If you want to be one of those players that's a frontline run and gun, you'll be able to create a loadout that allows you to do this. If you're more defense-minded or more of a team player, we'll allow you to do that as well." Going with that quote comes the news that there will be specific unlock paths and progression systems depending on how you want to play. And that seems to go hand in hand with the buddy system that DICE appear to be implementing as well, replacing squads with pairs of players who are dependent on each other for spawning into the action and for sharing unlocks and progression items too. The message seems to be that the more you work together, the more powerful as a pair you're likely to become. Something else that I think is good news for anyone planning to purchase this game is the amount of maps that will be shipping with it. In a recent blog post on EA's website, confirmation came that 12 multiplayer maps will be coming in November, and likely 3 or 4 more with the first free DLC, Battle of Jakku. And this wipes out previous mentions that the game would only be shipping with maybe 8 multiplayer maps, which kind of felt a little bit lackluster to me. And it confirms, at least for the base game, that there will be 3 maps per planet, which is something that DICE kind of lent towards when the game was first being announced. The planets on offer, just to recap, are the desert-covered Tatooine, the forest moon of Endor, the frozen planet of Hoth, and the new planet called Sullust. As for the Battle of Jakku DLC, the blog post did go into a little bit more detail here, and was quoted as follows: "The overall look and feel of Sullust is very much Imperial and under construction, playing in locations within the planet, such as a lava theme, a sulfur theme, a Death Star inspired theme, and lastly a mine theme." That right there suggests to me that we could be seeing 4 maps coming in the first DLC for Battlefront, which would be a great way to introduce the Force Awakens themed content into the title. Slightly more maps on a planet than what the base game will offer, and giving it away for free to all players sounds like a really good deal. And speaking of good deals, Matt Everett, who's EA's community manager for Star Wars Battlefront, I've linked his Twitter in the description by the way, he's somebody really good to follow if you're looking for Battlefront news, confirmed on Reddit that the Millennium Falcon and Snowspeeders will be able to be piloted in the game. He was quoted as saying the following: They're a lot easier to fly, very Padawan friendly. We'll go into more details on what makes them Padawan friendly and Jedi masterable. Is that even a word? After reading that quote, I had some mixed feelings, to be honest, as it seems to be suggesting that devs want to make sure that all vehicles will be accessible for everyone, making them easy to fly. But at the same time, they want to scale that up and allow more highly skilled players to use them to their full potential. And you could look at this in two different ways, and it's highly dependent on what your outlook on games are these days. Well, number one, they're dumbing down the experience to entice more people to buy the game, or two, they're looking for ways to make the game more enjoyable for everyone, no matter what their skill level might be. I'm of the latter. I'd like to think that they're doing it to try and make sure that the game will be enjoyable for everyone, and that they don't feel like they can't do something in a product that they've paid for. Yes, the backers of the game, just like the producers, they're in this to make money at the end of the day, so maybe some decisions are driven to try and make sure that people are going to buy this game so it is accessible and easy for everyone to play. But I kind of like the fact that they're leaning towards that they're making sure that those hardcore players out there are still going to be satisfied with the experience. And that seems like a good place to stop today. I'm going to end it there. There's lots of other little bits of information that are floating around the internet right now about Star Wars Battlefront, so don't worry, I will continue to drop these little update videos in when something of note crops up and try and group a lot of information together to make sure you're all updated. There are loads of different news articles coming out right now with little bits of information here and there that almost every day are getting confirmed now, so it's really difficult to keep up. So I think these kind of videos are beneficial to you guys, and considering the last one I posted about the reveal, you seem to really enjoy it, so I'll carry that on for you. But thanks very much for watching. Leave me a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to hit up g2a.com/r/Westy for all the latest deals on the greatest games. They even have Battlefront up there for pre-order if you're so inclined. Links in the description. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.